You're not filming me, are you? Hi, I'm Jim, and this is some of my skateboard collection.
Skate nerds! Skate nerds, nerds.
Flipping tree in the way. Okay, so along the top we've got a lot of the older boards from the 80s and early 90s. I started skateboarding in the 80s. We'll start off here. We've got the Zorlak Todd Prince frog prints, signed by Todd Prince. Unusually shaped board, believe it or not, is the board that I first learned to ollie up a curb on. Obviously not this exact one, but check out the shape. This one is also a very unusual shape. Check out the nose on that. Got Steve Cab. This one's actually a mini, but I skated one of these back in the day as well. In fact, this was one of the first 80s boards that I bought when I started collecting. New Deal, I was really into New Deal back in the day. Loved the graphics. I wish I'd got more of them. I've just got the Steve Douglas and the Andrew Morrison. And then we're going into Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, Corey O'Brien, I'd say after the Zorlak Todd Prince, this is the next board that I got. The Reaper graphic. I believe that was taken from a tattoo flash on a wall in a tattoo studio. And then Phillips redrew it for the graphic. Tom Knox, then Hosoi, when Hosoi was releasing boards through Santa Cruz. We've got the Roscop Phase 2, which the graphic was done by Jimbo Phillips, I believe. And that is the board that I had after the Corey O'Brien. I must stress, these aren't the actual boards, because they got skated to death. Jeff Kendall, original snake sticker, yeah. One of the more unusual shapes from back then. They're experimenting with double kick boards. This is a Gordon Smith Heintzman shuffle. I skated one of those back in the day as well. It's basically two tails, two old school tails. Exactly the same both ways. BBC, Pennington, Marching Magic Mushrooms, UK Deathbox, the company that then turned into Flip. Known for very wild concaves. That's the Rocker postbox. Probably one of the most famous Deathbox boards, the Rocker Hydrant. I remember everybody wanting these back in the day. UK legend Pete Dossett. We've got the Punch board and the Cherubs. The weird tri-tail concave. Can you see that? Early 90s slicks. I believe BBC did a slick in the 80s. But I suppose Santa Cruz are most known for the Ever Slick, aren't they? Got a couple of those. There was a whole series of these extra thick Ever Slick boards. I've got the Bod Boyle black one there. Got a World Industries, Jeremy Klein. With the original Phase 7 distribution sticker on the bottom of it. Now this one, that's one of my favourites. I skated one of these back in the day. It's when G&S decided they were going to change their name to And to try and be more trendy. I believe the older companies, a lot of them were in financial trouble because of all these new upstart companies. G&S changed their name to and released this slick with Escher graphics. And I absolutely loved it back in the day. I had to get another one of these. And they had the branded top logo. SMA and Sims, they were both out of NHS, which was Santa Cruz. I remember
the SMA debunker, the video.
That video was so good, yeah. And although this one's the same graphic, it's actually a different rider, so it's got a different top graphic. Eric Britton. They had the same graphic on the bottom, but they determined whose board it was by the graphic on the top. I think this one's, oh yeah, that was Tom Knox. Acme, weren't they a company that prided themselves in having no pro riders, but then they did have one pro rider at one point? Channel 1. I bought that one when my son Ozzy was born, just because I thought it was amazing. Plan B. When Plan B first came out, the videos, the skaters, it was just a whole nother level. And Sheffy, well, even the Life video before Plan B video. And I liked the Jungle Book, and I had this board back in the day. So when one came up on one of the collector sites, I had to get this one, the Sheffy board. This one was a short-lived company called TV that was done by Mike Vallely and Ed Templeton. This was, I believe, Templeton's first board on it. I think it was to do with him being a vegan. I don't know if Vallely did the graphics actually as a piss take. I skated one of these back in the day. Underworld Element, that was Andy Howell's spin-off from, was it when he left New Deal? But I skated one of those back in the day as well. Quite flat. Massive parental advisory, top graphic. Here we've got Real Sluggo, who is still an amazing skater now. I believe this one is one of the only boards that I've got that I actually skated back in the day. And you'll notice I snapped it the first 15 minutes of skating. This was a Rollersnakes purchase as well. Alien Workshop. Loved Alien Workshop in the 90s. In the early 90s, I moved to Northampton because it had the best skate park in the country at the time. And a lot of the flip guys used to hang out there and skate, so I got to see them a lot. And that massively got me into flip, especially after liking Deathbox before. You'd see Penny there a lot. Got a Rune slick. I'm not sure how much Rune was into this, but he looks like he's quite serious, being Spock. Got the Blue Meanie Rolly. The master that is Tom Penny. Got his portrait board. That was from a bit later on. The Freak Brothers. We used to read all the comics back then. Cheech and Chong, obviously. This isn't the first one, but it's a 90s one with the lamp graphic. Pixelated, that was obviously later on. Here we have my little Radlands collection. We've got the original Radlands board that I actually snapped in a competition at Radlands. I believe that was about 96, 97. D-Ints personal rider from Radlands. We've got an unskated one. This was the 10-year anniversary board that was done by Lee Skates. And then at one time I was living in Chesterfield. My friend Gibbo and my friend Lee had a shop called Pie. And this is the only board that they released. And then we've got, right, Heathen, Mike Wright graphics. I really like the graphics. Unfortunately, I've not got loads of them, but I've got Tarot series. Two of my good friend Nick's pro boards from Belper. I've known Nick since he was 12, I believe. I first met him down the skate park. Belper Mill in the background of one of them. And that one's actually signed. Local legend, Craig Smedley. I had to get this board. I used to go skateboarding in Nottingham every Sunday. I used to get the bus from Belper, and I think the first skateboarder that I saw that I was absolutely blown away by was Smedley. He turned up at the square on his own, killed the blocks, and then just skated off down to the bus station. And over the years our paths crossed a lot, and he's still killing it today. Local guy that we used to skate with, who unfortunately passed away, Ash, got one of his commemorative boards that were done by Baker. We've got the legend that was Bingo, who's also passed away, sadly no longer with us. Then we've got Gyro skateboards that was done by my friend Warren. We've got Simple Pleasures skateboards that was done by my friend Critch. And we've got Cobra Gold, which was done by my friend Si.
Great.
So, the first skateboard I ever had, I made out some roller skates. They were my sister's roller skates, she wasn't too happy about it. Then I had one of these plastic boards. I think most people had these back in the 80s, possibly 70s. Then the first brand new board I ever had, I remember it was Christmas, I think it was 1986, and I wanted a skateboard. My mum and dad bought me a Pacer Mad Dog, and I believe this was probably from Rollersnakes as well. And I remember sneaking around in their bedroom and finding it in the cupboard before Christmas and being so pleased. It was unbelievable. So I had to get another one of these. And then at the end, one of the only reissues that I own, Vision Gator, but it's got original independent trucks, original Santa Cruz speed wheels. And this is the board that Toby took an amazing photo of me doing a 50-50 down the handrail at Derby Park. This is my skateboard collection. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. See you later.